I tried selling digital products online for the last 30 days, and I'm going to show you right now how much I made and how I actually was able to get started with this, and how you could as well if you find it interesting. So let's hop onto my computer and get started. Here is one of the platforms where I started selling this digital product over the last 30 days. And let me change this here just so you can see that these are actual sales and not something that were just added after the fact. I'll scroll through here and you can see at the price points 27, 22, 33, that was an order bump, which is something I can talk about, just a way that I've increased how much a customer is actually spending on average every time I make a sale. So the short answer just from showing you this so far is that yes, it's definitely worth it. If you look at the top here, you can see that in that 30-day period, did a total of over $5,116 in sales. But I actually started selling first on this platform called Whop and not Teachable. And on there, I did $1,885.47. But the reason I ended up switching over to Teachable for this specifically is because I wanted to have an order bump. I wanted to have the ability for someone to add on another digital product when they buy that first one, because like I said, it increases that average order value. And with digital products, that actually makes a pretty big difference, considering that since they are digital products, you don't have to actually pay a recurring product cost, you don't have to do any shipping or anything like that. So if I can get, let's say, 1 out of every 5 customers to add this order bump onto their order, then that's a huge increase in overall sales and profit. So when you add those two numbers up, you get a total of $7,001.47. But from the people that ended up buying that low ticket digital product, I also was able to sell 3 higher ticket digital products that I made, totaling $8,996.47 over this period. Now for me personally, I really like to keep things as simple as possible, but the first online business that I ever started was a physical dropshipping store, which then turned into me actually buying inventory and fulfilling everything by myself. Now, the thing about this is that a lot of effort, time, and money goes into actually building a physical e-commerce brand. I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. I myself have a physical product brand, but it's not something that's paying me for what I spend on a daily basis or my lifestyle or the things that I do for other people. Everything that I spend is from income that I'm making now with digital products. And I think one reason why I've been so comfortable with that is because I understand that with a physical product brand, you're going to have to keep reinvesting everything. It's going to take time for you to actually be able to pay yourself, or else you're just screwing over the business's potential growth. But when it comes to a digital product, when it comes to selling digital products, the margins are typically very high, which means that you can have a good amount of disposable income and decide where you want to place that, whether it's an investment into yourself or you're using a percentage of that to pay for your life, your expenses, and then a good amount back into the business, however you may see that. So the way that I look at selling digital products right now, as we are getting into 2025 especially, is that you can take this approach of drop shipping digital products. Now when I say digital drop shipping, I'm just saying it in form of a buzzword, because drop shipping is something a lot of people have tried. Maybe you have tried. It's something you're maybe familiar with. But what if you could have that ability to, create an online store quick, start selling quickly, but not have to be selling the same product as thousands of other people, or having to just spend a ton of money on ads without seeing any results, or having to ship anything or pay the recurring product costs. That's where digital products come into play. But you could sell a digital product that you make yourself, like I did for this example I'm talking about in this video. I'll talk about it more as we continue here, but it's something that I personally made, but you don't have to do that if you're in a certain situation. You could instead buy the rights to an existing digital product from a person like me or another business and then sell it as your own. And when you're selling a digital product, you essentially replace any type of supplier or shipping with just a simple digital product. So once you have your digital product, you just store it online virtually, and then when a customer places and pays for an order, the product gets delivered to them virtually through your system. And the way that you actually go about in starting this for yourself right now is with step number 1, actually choosing your niche. Now, every single winning digital product is built around solving a pain point. People invest in solutions to their problems, not novelty. Maybe I want to learn how to play chess. Maybe I want to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. That's not a pain point with a super strong motive behind it. It's not the most urgent type of pain point, but it is an example of something that there are a lot of digital products out there for, that people are making a ton of money from just by helping people solve simple problems like this. But I prefer and recommend you, if you're going to do this, to sell digital products that are a little bit more deep and they have a little bit more of a reason for people to invest into your digital product. So in the health category, people are always going to want to lose weight, maybe they want to gain weight, and just overall health. People want to have these problems solved because every single person in the entire world has something that they probably would like to change about their physical appearance or the way that they feel. That means it's a very profitable category. But ideally, you want to kind of dive yourself a little bit further into one specific niche. Maybe it's weight loss with the keto diet. Maybe it's having to do with meal planning. Maybe it's about pain relief for your back. Maybe it's about digestive health problems. It's under that health category, but a little bit more specific. So for me, if I was going to get into the health category, I know that I would want to help people with the carnivore diet because that's something that helped me a ton in losing over 50 pounds and feeling the best I ever felt in my life. And then in the wealth category, this is something that you could dive into really anything. Ultimately, people want to not only just make more money, but they want to keep more money as well. So this can break down into a lot of different avenues such as real estate or cryptocurrency or just any type of make money opportunity, raking leaves, building shelves, starting a digital dropshipping business. It really can be anything. And then in relationships, it's another pain point category that nearly everyone has. Maybe you're single and you don't want to be. Maybe you're a female and you want to know, how do I get these guys, these men, to actually become attracted to me? I feel like they're not attracted to me. What is the reason? How could I fix this? So relationships have a lot of different pain points, and this even comes down into trauma and abuse resolution and communication and conflict resolution. So if you're unsure of where to start, what I recommend you do is just choose one niche idea that's relatively interesting to you, because you can't get stuck on this right now. It can always be changed. So just choose your niche and then move to the next step. Now, step number 2 is actually choosing your product. So your digital product must check these 3 boxes. It needs to be instantly deliverable. It needs to solve a specific audience problem. And it needs to genuinely be valuable. So when I say instantly deliverable, think about an ebook, think about a course, think about a digital planner, Notion template, Canva template. Think about if you're renting a movie on Amazon and you pay $5 for it, then you instantly get access to it. So your digital product needs to be able to be delivered instantly. Now, the second part here is it needs to solve a specific audience problem. We'll talk more about this, but think about what I said. If I was going to help people with the carnivore diet, I need to understand who is the actual audience demographic that I know that I would want to help if I was making a digital product around that. Well, I know that personally, I want to help people that were like me because I help myself with it, and I know it can be super valuable for other people and change their life that were in situations like me. So I would target, people that were in their early 20s that were stuck to drinking and smoking and just got into binge eating and gained a lot of weight and couldn't figure out how to get it off until I tried the carnivore diet. Like, I would want to target people like that, people that were like me. And then genuinely valuable just means that you have to know what your digital product does. What does the product actually do? It's supposed to be a mechanism that helps someone get from point A to point B. So if I say, hey, here's this digital product that's going to help you choose your digital product, here's how it works. There's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that's going to get you from not knowing what your product is to having your product ready to go. Okay? Then that is the actual product itself. Now, I want to just make a side note here because planners, templates, and courses, they work well. And especially planners and templates, they're very beginner friendly. So if you're someone who's kind of struggling even with step 1 of what niche do I choose, Tanner? I don't know what to do. And now with the product, you're like, I don't know what type of digital product I should sell. Well, I'm just telling you, if you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing at all, just listen to me and what I'm saying, because one of the basic things that sells that you could do as a complete beginner without struggling too much is selling some type of digital planner or Canva template. And really it's because these are in demand. It's easy to modify them and you can source and create them relatively quickly. And on platforms like Etsy, you can buy the rights to existing ones to rebrand as your own. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more in this video. Now, I just want to give you some examples for inspiration as well. Just think of macro planners. Imagine a Notion template that is something that helps calculate macros, and you can put in your weight, your height, your body type, and then your ideal outcome income and this thing can basically just tell you what macros you need to eat on a daily basis, that would be a valuable digital product. And you would only have to make it one time or buy the rights to it. And then I could sell it to you, and you without having to pay a recurring product cost. Another one could be budgeting spreadsheets. This is a pretty popular niche. If you look up, like there are Excel sheets that are custom, like Emily Excels, etc. There's a lot of different things where people basically customize Google spreadsheets. They do formulas on it, they make it look nice, and then they just sell the copy link of it. And it does well. Now, the next one is step-by-step video courses. Video courses are great. I think a lot of people, they'll get stuck on it when they're first starting out. I recommend if you're a complete beginner, you want to sell your first digital product, start with a simple self-paced product that's maybe not a course if you've never done this before, because you'll probably be overthinking in your head and it's going to take you a long time and you might not go through with it. I would rather you start with something simple, like one of the things I mentioned before, so that you can at least just put it out there to the market, start marketing, make a couple first sales, get your proof of concept, and then be like, okay, now I know how this works. Tanner was right. This was actually pretty simple. Now I'm gonna go back to my idea for this video course that I wanted to make, and I'm gonna make it, and then I'm gonna start pushing it out. Video courses are great, right? Because it creates a lot of commitment from people. They watch the videos, they take the action steps, but you have to know how to structure a course the right way. If you don't, then people aren't going to be satisfied with it, they're not going to watch it, and they're not going to give you good feedback, and they're not going to get the outcome that you want them to get by using that video course. So you need to know how to do it right, or else it's not really worth much. Now, parenting how-to guides, this is just a general example. Social media content calendars, pick one that interests you. It doesn't even have to be off this list. Think of something yourself. And we'll get to like the actual product creation in a next step, so just kind of hang tight. And remember, make sure it follows these 3 boxes above. Now, number 3, dial in your customer. What do I actually mean by this? This is a pretty simple part of this video, but it's very important to know, just to actually define your audience and understand who you're going to be selling to, because it helps you better craft your product and your messaging later on. So think about the demographics of your ideal audience, like who's going to actually buy your product. What's their age, gender, profession, lifestyle? What are their motivations? Like what is the goal or multiple goals they're actually chasing, and what challenges are holding them back? So I put an example on here of if you're selling a fitness training product, and let's say it's young professionals, 22 to 35, who want to get in shape but lack time and structure. It's just something for you to put pen on paper and just kind of better understand your customer so that you can connect with them and then sell to them as time goes on. So if I was going to be selling the product that helps people with the carnivore diet, I would think, okay, people like myself, let's say the biggest thing that probably caused it, that the solution helped, was the binge eating. So if I could target people who are binge eaters and they're in their late teens, early 20s, and they're struggling to get in shape and cut the binge eating, then this is the solution for them. And now that just helps me better in my mind understand, how am I going to structure the product? How am I going to market it? And everything else. Simple exercise, but honestly something a lot of people don't even think about. They just think, oh, I have this chess piece, I'm gonna push it out to the world. And the more people that see it, the better. But if it's not the right people, it's not resonating with anybody, you're not gonna make any sales. Now on step number 4, how do you actually source or create your digital product? Because by the end of this video, I want you to follow the steps and basically be left with a digital product, a brand name, the name of your product, the product actually ready to go, so that way you can leave this video and be ready to make sales not too far from now. So I hope you're following the steps here, taking notes, and then taking action afterwards, so that by the end of this, you can have your own digital product ready to sell, because I'm gonna continue helping you even outside of this video. So here are the 3 main ways to develop your digital product. The first one is PLR products. This is where you can buy the rights to existing digital products and rebrand them as your own. The second one is freelancers. This is if you have a unique idea and you want to hire someone else to do it for you. I don't recommend this if you're a complete beginner, but more so later on, if you have a product idea and you've already made sales, you already have customers, and you want someone else to make the product for you and you can't find it out there, freelancers is the way to go. Now, DIY creation is doing something yourself. I like to make products myself if it's something that I personally am the one that I feel is the expert in, or the person that is going to actually be able to convey the value of this product. Sometimes that's making it, like let's say with the video course where I'm showing my face, or sometimes it's making something like an ebook where it has nothing to do with my face. And you can do this, honestly, in one day if you really want to. And I recommend you do that just for testing purposes, to show yourself that you can actually do it. I promise that if you start doing this and it feels a little bit challenging, you're probably just overthinking a little bit. Now, step number 5 is actually branding your product. Like, this is what sets apart your offer and makes it irresistible to your ideal audience that we talked about just a few minutes ago. So when it comes to branding, the first thing is defining your audience, which we did in an earlier step. So bring that here. Let's say it's busy moms who need help meal prepping. And then number 2, what is my brand name gonna be? Look, I'll go to ChatGPT. I'm doing this shamelessly. I'll go to ChatGPT and say, here's my ideal audience. Here's the type of product I want to sell. Give me 10 brand name ideas that are 3 words each. Okay, let me look at them. Which one do I like the best? Boom. Parent Prep Planner. Simple enough. Now, what am I going to name my product? Because we don't want to just name it, the Meal Prep Planner or the Meal Prep Spreadsheet. It's a little bit boring. So the formula is to use 1 special word, 1 pain point word, and 1 defining word. So here I have an example. Ultimate is the special word. Pain point word would be meal prep, technically 2 words. And then masterclass is a defining word. Defining word just essentially explains what is the actual technical type of product that it is. So it's another word for, let's say, video course could be masterclass. Another one could be all-in-one fitness trainer for a planner. And here you can go ahead and start making mock-ups for your digital product. Canva Pro is great, Media Modifier, both of those are paid. Placeit.net. This is how you can create visuals just showing your product in action. So if it's a video course, for example, I could take a screenshot of one of the videos playing, put that onto a laptop mock-up, put a play button on there, and just basically showcase the product actually there. For an ebook, I could do an ebook cover and then put that cover on an ebook mock-up. And you can do this for just about any type of digital product. Now, number 6 is making the product marketable, because packaging and presentation are key to conversions, but creating perceived value with a digital product is a little bit different than doing it with the physical product, where I say, hey, here's this chess piece, this is what it looks like, you can see what it's made of, here, you want to buy it, this is the price. With the digital product, you have to think, like, this thing is just in the air, it's floating around here, it's on my computer, it's on my phone, it's on the SD card, So that is a digital product, but how can I create the perceived value of it? So what I recommend you do, I'll give you a couple examples, but you want to use use-based marketing is what I call it. I found it to be one of the most conversion, life-changing things you can do when selling digital products, because you're highlighting results and demonstrating the actual value in action. So for example, the first time I ever sold a digital planner, I sold it by just taking a screenshot of the digital planner open and then putting it into an iPad mock-up. But when you looked at the mock-up, it was just like plain. There was nothing on there, right? So what I did was I filled up the page with tasks, goals, and highlights, like it was being used by someone who would be using that product and purchasing it. So then what I'm doing is I'm showcasing in my marketing that here is what it actually looks like when being used. And it's just easier for someone to see that and be like, oh, it clicks. Like, this is how I'm going to get the value out of the product. Sorry to interrupt your video, but I don't do sponsorships very often. I just like to promote my own things that I find valuable and that I know actually help people. So right now I have something that can help you if you find this video interesting, and it's free. It's a digital dropshipping starter pack. It's where you can join our Discord community of over 33,000 members doing this themselves. There's some additional resources and trainings that will help you make progress at an even quicker pace. I'll put the link in the description there, and I'll see you inside. Now let's get back to the video. The same thing for a course. You can do the mock-up idea I just mentioned, and that way it just kind of creates this perceived value. For an ebook, I've done things like page flipper GIFs, where it just kind of shows it flipping through the first couple pages. It just shows like, oh, okay, it's like a book, like I'm gonna be able to read through the pages. It's gonna show these strategies or whatever it is that your product promises. You can do things as simple as ad strategies, a list of winning products, a list of workouts. You can keep things as simple as possible. Now, another thing you can do is highlight results here, which is creating visuals or case studies, just showcasing the transformation that your product actually offers. So if this course helped over 50 people lose weight by staying consistent with their fitness goals, it's one thing to say it, but it's a complete other thing to actually show it. And again, you can use the same 3 tools here, Canva, Media Modifier, or Placeit.net to create professional, engaging mock-ups and go from there. So after you complete all of these 6 steps, you should be left with your first simple self-paced digital product and the name of the brand and the name of the product, and you should know exactly who your ideal customer is, which makes things a lot simpler as we would get into the next step. So if this video gets 500 likes, I'll make the next video showing you how to set up your own landing page, systems, upsells, and then how to actually market and make sales. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big like, comment, and subscribe. Peace!